Well, viewers, the Andhra Pradesh government has paved the way for Ayurvedic surgeons in the state. The government has given a green signal to Ayurvedic practitioners to independently perform 58 types of surgical procedures. This also includes procedures for infectious conditions, wound management, cataract procedures and root canal. The government says that this will be applicable for only those Ayurvedic practitioners who have postgraduate qualifications in surgical disciplines and those who have undergone prescribed training for it. My colleagues Shomit and Isha are joining us on the broadcast with the details. Well, Shomit, what are the details of this new move by Andhra Pradesh? What prompted this decision? What is the qualification that will be needed? And what are the surgical procedures that will be allowed?
Well, see, actually, the guidelines have already been issued by the NCISM. So basically, after the guidelines have already been issued in 2020 itself, now the Health Minister of the Andhra Pradesh has issued grant, permission and also recognition to the Ayurveda doctors. And because the guidelines clearly, says that these Ayurvedic doctors who have performed post-graduation in surgical specialities, surgical disciplines, they can perform surgeries, especially 39 general surgeries and 19 ENT and ophthalmology surgeries. So now Andhra Pradesh government, following the guidelines issued by the NCISM, has allowed, officially allowed Ayurvedic doctors who have already completed the post-graduation in the surgical specialties, and the doctors who didn't complete the post-graduate in these surgical disciplines, they can now perform their post-graduation, and they are allowed to perform, like I was mentioning, 39 general surgeries and 19 ophthalmology and ENT surgeries. So this is a big move, mainly recognizing the Ayurvedic doctors, mainly giving a grant to them, recognizing them, giving permission to them, and because the guidelines are very much clear, those guidelines are being followed is what Andhra Pradesh Health Minister has stated, and this is a big move basically for the Ayurvedic doctors, because the roots are from 2,500 years ago. We recognize Ayurveda from over 2,500 years in India. So basically, this is nothing but officially giving grant to the Ayurveda doctors, officially giving permission to them, because there are clear guidelines as well.
Okay, the government has in fact recognized and also regulated the Ayurvedic doctors and practices. But what is the view going to be on this, Isha, because these are surgeries being performed and there will be some from the medical fraternity that could also raise an objection to this?
Pratibha, is the question to me?
Yes, Isha.
Right, Pratibha, like Shomit was also pointing out, that now these are doctors who will have a postgraduate degree and they can perform these surgeries. However, it is important to note that all the doctors who currently, the allopathic doctors that we see in hospitals, are actually the ones, they have completed an MBBS degree and on top of that have done a postgraduate degree. So, and this will further, this is the government's aim to integrate modern medicine with ancient Ayurvedic practices. However, the question is, will this not erode patient doctor trust? And that is what the Indian Medical Association has also been slamming the Andhra Pradesh government on, is that these doctors aren't trained well enough to perform these surgeries, which are very technical in nature and can lead to a lot of crisis in the entire fraternity as well. However, Pratibha, this is not the first time that something like this has come up. In Maharashtra, the IMA went on a strike in September when homeopathic doctors were brought in the mainstream and were given the permit to be a part of the medical council. So this is not the first time something like this has happened. However, now the medical fraternity is now coming together. The IMA has come out and unequivocally condemned this move, stating that this is something that goes against the values and cannot be feasible in the long term.
Isha, thank you for joining us with those details. In fact, like you mentioned, the Indian Medical Association has slammed the government for allowing the Ayurveda doctors to perform surgeries. In fact, the IMA has said that this has the potential to compromise patient safety, and the move blurs lines between Ayurveda and modern medicines, and there could be many patients who could be affected by this. Dr. Srirang is joining us on the broadcast with the details, representing the IMA. He is the national president of the IMA. Thank you so much for joining us, Doctor. Why do you think this is so concerning? Because, the decision taken by the Andhra Pradesh government says that surgeries can be performed. There are some specifications given, but why does the IMA believe that this could be dangerous?
So IMA respects all systems of medicine. So we are not against any system of medicine. What we want is to let those systems flourish with purity of their own system. Do not mix systems and create problems. We are concerned with the safety of our patients. Now, surgery is not only the surgical skill which is there, it involves a lot of other things, including the checkup, pre-operative checkup, then intraoperative complications, where you need a sound medical knowledge which is provided by modern medicine. You need interactions with modern medical drugs. So if somebody from another system is practicing that, he may not be aware of that, and there are so many potential areas where patient safety may be compromised. We've approached our honorable courts also regarding this before in the cases sub judice. Even in the Maharashtra case for the homeopathy thing, we are not against homeopathy. Let them practice, but do not club and mix them with this modern medicine system, so that it will lead to a lot of complications.
Okay.
So IMA is very clear with that. We respect, let each system flourish. You give them grants, let them flourish, let them do research, but don't mix systems which will compromise the patient safety.
But doctor, according to the rules in Andhra Pradesh as well, it says that only practitioners who have the postgraduate qualification for surgical disciplines will be allowed. Okay, we seem to have lost a technical line there. We'll try and get back to the doctor, but this is a new rule that has come in from Andhra Pradesh. There have been a lot of questions raised. In fact, the IMA has also gone on to say that it could be dangerous and patients' lives could be at risk. They've gone on to say that it blurs the line between Ayurveda and modern medicine. In fact, Doctor, back with us. Doctor, I was just asking you, in the decision that has been taken by the Andhra Pradesh government as well, it says very clearly that it will be applicable only to the Ayurveda practitioners who actually have a postgraduate qualification for surgical disciplines. So does that make it better, or you think that even with a postgraduate qualification in surgical discipline, you need much more than that and it should not be allowed?
It is very obvious that we need much more than that. As I reiterated, surgery is just not only performing a surgery. It involves so many other things: assessing the patient safety, the drugs which are there, complications if they arise, how to treat, where modern medicines are there. Ayurveda practitioner will be well versed with his own system of medicine and will not be fully aware of the modern system of medicines which we tackle, because it's a very dynamic process and you need to take split-second decisions during a surgical procedure. So that is a main contention. So let each system flourish on its own. Don't mix systems and create problems for the patient.
Okay.
So we've been very clear with that.
Okay, you're saying that you have appealed to the government and there has not been enough response on that. Dr. Srirang, thank you for joining us on the broadcast with the concerns of the IMA. With that, it's time for us to slip into a short break here.